Hey guys, bad news. The last video that I made about summon Phantasms actually has an error and I got fooled by Path of Building again. So this is gonna be explaining how Path of Building gets the Phantasms scaling wrong, and if you are making something with the Phantasms you should also know what to avoid and how to, I guess, simulate their damage. The problem was I was using Bronze Lift Body Armor, which does give +5 levels to movement gems, and I was using Mirror Arrow. The Mirror Arrow gets +5 levels. Well, in this case it's +7 levels from the Body Armor. And +7 levels in Path of Building gets transferred to the Summon Phantasms, but it doesn't show that it gets transferred. So here's what happens. Each level to Mirror Arrow in Path of Building gives a lot of damage to Summon Phantasms. And the reason is that it secretly gives levels to the Summon Phantasm. It doesn't show that it gives levels. This was like my DPS. That was looking good, like 500k DPS per Phantasm. That's like over 5 million DPS. That's good. But turns out it doesn't work that way. So in order to fix that, you kind of have to match the skill that triggers the Phantasms to the Summon Phantasm level. So in this case, Summon Phantasm are level 23. So you need to lower Mirror Arrow to match level 23, for example. In this case, we are level 20 plus 10 levels. So I need to lower it to level 13, then it would be 13 plus 10, so level 23. And then add the difference that you get by leveling the gem. So by adding those 7 levels, it is gaining 42% increased minimum damage from the Mirror Arrow modifiers. And you essentially just add minutes deal 42% increased damage. And that would be the actual damage. Not as good, like it twice less. So that like just completely killed my interest in the build, and I scrapped the build. I tried to Ferocraft like minion stability with the ignites, but it doesn't look that good, and I just lost interest completely. So this is also a bit of a rant. In over 9 years playing Path of Exile, this is the first league ever when I got stuck planning builds, not knowing what to play at the start of the league. Usually that only happens at the end of the league when I experiment with all the builds that I wanted. But now I just get stuck planning builds for like literally 3 to 4 days. Literally 3 to 4 days just planning builds, sitting for 6 hours on stream, planning builds day after day, and then I just give up and do some build like, okay, Blink Arrow, Mirror Arrow, I wanted to test that for some time now. It was always expensive, but here's the cool mechanic. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Let's just go with that. And I went with it, and it turns out that no, it doesn't work that way. And a couple of people notified me about that. It's not a very well-known error. Some people still believe that. I think in the past it was like that. Like the Summon Phantasm level was based on the skill that triggers it. Or maybe it was never like that, but it was confirmed by, I believe, Rory. At least someone said that. Rory mentioned that it's not a correct way to calculate their damage anymore in PoB. So yeah, PoB is incorrect. And I'm gonna show you like a side-by-side comparison, doing some testing. I wanted to basically very similar results, very similar testing ground essentially. I ran a map with a bit of monster life on the map. I ran it twice. One was with the Bronze Lift, +2 to minions corruption, and then another one was with the Tabla, +2 to minions corruption. So the difference would be 5 levels. If this was level 20, which is what I have right now, and I drop 5 levels, it goes from 551,000 to 300,000. You would definitely notice that kind of difference. That's almost half of the damage. And I didn't notice any difference. And actually, I even slightly messed up the Assassin Sniper's Mark. I did not use it quick enough in the first test, so I actually killed faster while wearing Tabla. So in the end, I think that's... I don't know why I didn't do more testing. I got really confused. I did some testings, but I got confused because... Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. I was wrong. I should have done more testing, I guess. But back to my rant. I'm like really sick of being stuck planning builds and not knowing what to play, and I think Path of Building is kind of ruining my enjoyment playing the game. And this is not to complain about Path of Building, because Path of Building is great. because the game does not provide you enough information. The game doesn't even, like, if you link summon Phantasm, where is it? If you link summon Phantasm to the skill, you don't see any information about summon Phantasm other than you get a chance to trigger them. You don't see it in here, you don't know where HP, this HP that you see in here is actually from the mirror arrow. So you only see the chance to trigger it. You don't even see phantasms in here. None of these are phantasms. So there's literally no information in the game telling you about where HP, about where damage, how do they scale exactly. The game is like getting more and more complicated, and we're not really solving those problems. Minions have been an issue for such a long time. Minions always are confusing for new players because there is no information about their DPS, about specters especially. You can only hope that the information that you find on the wiki, which is often outdated, which is now also hosted by GG, which looks it even worse, that the wiki and the like PoEDB and the PoB is correct, and you're not making a mistake, and you're not wasting like 1 week planning a build and then 3 days testing the build, trying it out. I guess you could test it out faster if you got the right build, but if you got the right setup. Another thing is, I just keep getting stuck in planning builds in PoB because most of the builds that I want to try are kind of on the meme side, on the off meta. Well, most of them are off meta. I don't want to play meta. I can't. Meta is meta. It's already the most efficient way, so there's nothing to kind of experiment. So I'm just trying to discover something new, and the game getting harder is killing more meme builds. It's harder and harder to make an interesting meme builds that not many people know about. I do get comments from time to time, some people using some weird mechanics or little known mechanics that are very strong, but I think you can agree that the league is getting harder with all the arch nemesis changes. So monsters do more damage, minions changes. Some of the minion changes are great, but minions just don't live very much. So you really need strong minions, and you need to invest pretty much everything into minions or go like minion stability. So minions also have a harder time to survive, which limits what kind of minions you can play as well, and it also limits how you can build your own defenses. So there are fewer and fewer builds to do, and this applies not just to minions but to most builds, I guess. In the past you could just go like full glass cannon almost and just kill enemies quickly, but now just I do like that the game is getting harder, but the difficulty of the game, I guess this is like my delayed rant about the league. The difficulty of the game is not challenging, it's just annoyance. You know how those old school games used to be like designed just to kind of annoy you. It wasn't like a very good balance, it's just annoying. And that's obviously not a good design of the game, especially for a game like this. You don't want to be frustrated, and most of the time when I'm playing Path of Exile, if I don't have a tanky build, which is most of the time, and I don't have a lot of speed, which is also most of the time, it just feels like really frustrating and exhausting. All the time you kill enemies, they drop degen ground, oh, they also drop loot. Well, now you have to wait, because if you step on that degen ground, you're just gonna instantly die, almost instantly die. And the other times you just zoom fast, and then the loot drops, you want to pick it up, boom, out of nowhere, magma barriers, toxic balls, okay, now you have to run again. And this kind of annoying thing where you don't even see what's actually hitting you because there's a lot of things happening on the screen. I think the game is going in the really like sad direction, and it feels like Path of Exile 2 may kill Path of Exile completely. If that's their vision, instead of adding like challenging mechanics that are fun or interesting, we just add challenging mechanics that are just annoying and frustrating and not fun in any way. No one is having fun running away from toxic balls or seeing a bunch of magma barriers, right, chasing you as well. There are lots of degen grounds as well, like so annoying. The worst experience I ever had was playing with the dissolution of the flesh. There were so many damage over time things that you cannot mitigate. It's not like bleed, but it's physical dot. Then there's a chaos dot, which is not even like essence drain or anything. It's just a debuff on you. Like so many damage over time effects. It's just so frustrating to play this game these days. So if you don't have a meta build and I try to experiment with something new, something. It's just my style, I guess, my course, to not like playing meta and trying to invent the wheel, or I don't know, invent a flying saucer instead of a car. And most of the time I have fun doing it until like red maps. After that, most of the builds that are not meta, that don't have good defensive layers, just fall over. So you can have a lot of fun playing in low tier maps, but then again you also feel bad because you cannot really do high tier maps and you just keep dying and it becomes so frustrating. So yeah, that's my little rant about PoB and how you can get stuck chasing good numbers in PoB, and sometimes it's better to just close PoB and have an idea and go with it. So I think that's what I'm gonna try more in the upcoming future. I am currently playing Jug because I got tired of dying, so I'm gonna be playing Jug with little damage, but it may still have some interesting things to talk about. So yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.